In this video, we're going to go about setting up the wheelset and the brakes on this special bike Brompton and see what parts do we have on this bike as well. Let's get started. Anyway, this Brompton was recently brought over to Singapore from Australia, and I had to remove both of the wheels for the easy packaging into a normal suitcase. So I'm going to take this opportunity to show you how I mount the wheels and set up the brakes properly back onto the bike. As always, if we have a bike repair stand, we would like to make use of that. So we literally clamp the seat post to the bicycle repair stand, and we make sure the whole bike is unfolded with the stand bar, the hinge clamp secure. My bike here used the skewer system, so make sure you have the safety hook insert inside the skewer before you slot the wheels in. As my Brompton here is using without the fender, so make sure we are using the right hook to set it up. Notice how I secure the nut at the front wheel with a finger tight. You must be asking why, but we will go into that a little bit later on. So with the rear wheel, I will always secure the right hand side nut first before we're moving on. Make sure we pick the smaller washer before the bolt is going in. So we slightly tilt up the chain and make sure the chain is on the sprocket, and then we slowly slide the wheel into the triangle. Then the washer, and then secure finger tight with the bolt. The same applied to the left hand side of the bike as well. The washer and then the bolt. And yet again, just finger tight would do. With both sides of the bolts has been secure, now is the time we snap the chain back onto the chain ring. The reason for that is we don't want the chain to bounce around for the next step. So this part is quite crucial to me. I'm sure there are plenty of other methods that it can get the job done as well. To me, I will always remove the bike from the bike stand and have both wheels stand hard and straight onto the ground. Once the wheels are onto the ground, now is the time to make sure both of the front and the rear wheels are secure, like pushing all the ways to the mounting area at the fork and the triangle. The reason why we only secure the bolt at this stage was to use the gravity to pull the bike down, make sure everything is in place at the right place anyway, and then we secure the bolt. And then the front wheel is just the same. We'll push it all the way down to the ground, make sure the wheel goes all the way into the fork, and we secure the bolt. The next step is to secure the tensioner back on to the Brompton. If you're using this pusher type of tensioner like the C-line on your Brompton, now is a good time to bring out the larger washer and the bolts to secure the tensioner towards the rear triangle. It's important that we check the gear each time we remove the wheels after we have this set up. So we spin up the crank, make sure the wheels are rolling, press the up and down shifter a few times, make sure the gears are shifting. It seems fine to me here. Once the wheels is fixed and the gear rings are done, now is the time to make sure our brake calipers are working for us. If your wheels are well built, I generally will have the brake pads run against the brake track like an mm away on each side, so 1 mm away on each side, and then you secure the bolt from there. If you're not comfortable, not experienced enough with your bare hand, there are tools that you can buy online to help you to set that up as well. Make sure this part is right, otherwise your bike will be really dangerous to ride. If this is not what you're comfortable in doing yourself, better consult your bike shop, your Brompton shop. Okay, when you're setting up your brake levers, it's very important to me anyway to have them set up being pulled evenly. What I meant was when you pull the front and the rear brake, they should be both pulled the same distance to have the same amount of braking power on the front and rear wheel. It will feel super odd if one side you have to pull more and one side you have to pull less. To control the tightness or the sensitivity of the brakes, there's a little knob at the brake lever side that you can micro adjusting it, or you can make some adjustment on the brake caliper itself as well. Finally, we have to set the saddle going, otherwise you won't be able to sit on the bike and ride it. And the bike should be good to go and have a good ride with it. On the part 2 of the video, we're going to take a look at what we have on this Brompton. So starting from the handlebar, we have a JK aluminum handlebar. It's a flat S-bar. And then I had the Radius super light brake levers installed at the bar with a RockShox 2-speed shifter and the ODI grip to complete the setup at the handlebar as well. Coming down to the headset, we have the Tanki Japan headset installed and it connects it to the Brompton main frame. I believe this frame was made in the year of 2011. Some say all the frames were made before the 2013 were the better one. I don't know, but this has been serving me quite well. And then I had loaded up with some third-party made, well-made actually, titanium rear triangle, the fork, and the stem. If you notice, the rig at the fork is actually larger than the Brompton original ones. that makes the ride a little bit smoother. At the time of building the bike, I only had the Brompton original brake calipers, so I made use of them. They worked really well. At the drivetrain, I had used the Hawk Racing BB at it. Hawk Racing is famous for its stainless steel BB, a full stainless steel BB. Super smooth, super long lasting. Not many people talk about this, but it's quite good, really good in fact. And then with the crank, I'm using a Ridden ES 3024 crank arms. Mostly you will see the crank on some of the track bikes on a single speed. And we're having this on our Brompton now. With the chainring, we have a very special custom-made chainring here. And it was made for the National Day of Singapore. This chainring wasn't made for this bike, but during the build, it would so happen to be next to me, and I would like to build the bike up with a touch of the red theme. So I was using this chainring here. And then we have the bike front aluminum seat post, super light, using the original Brompton Penta clip. And the saddle, I had put on the saddle that I pulled off from the P-line of Physic. And then we have the KCNC carbon catcher, which was super light, and it does catches. With the hinge clamp and the bolts, I don't know what brands they are, but they seem to be working well. They're super light and it's all fine. So the connecting bolts and nuts between the main frame and the triangle, the rear frame triangle hinge set were replaced with a titanium one as well. The Masumura suspension block were used as well. And these pairs of wheels that will build with the Asuri aluminum rims with the Faxon Taiwanese hub were used. They are not the lightest in the world, especially the hub, but they did use a super oversized bearing inside the hub, makes it really smooth and long lasting. This is actually my favorite 2-speed wheels of all the wheelset that I had ever used. And then we rounded up with all the jack wire cables, the braking and the shift cables, all in red. Thank you for watching until the deep end of the video. I hope you have been enjoying. So if you do enjoy my Brompton videos here, you may enjoy my little chat with all the Brompton riders here. If not, I see you on the next video. Dash!